So if everyone will come in and take a seat. Or at least quit talking. Take a deep breath. So the first thing we're going to start with are opening statements by the candidates. 1 minute each, and we'll open with Sam Brand.
Thank you very, very much to everybody who attended tonight. This is really important business, probably the most important mayor's race that we've had in years. I'm Sam Brannon, and I am a graduate of University of Texas at Austin with a BBA in finance. I spent 20 years in corporate America almost, and I was in worked for companies like American Express and GE Capital. Later in my career, I got into supply chain software, supply chain consulting. One of the things I've learned from my experience is there are processes that have to take place, or else you're going to get bad outcomes. What I see here at the city of San Marcos, when big issue after big issue comes up, we've got half or more than half of the city that's upset about it, it tells me we've got some broken processes. And that's what we need to get fixed. The best way we can do that is to get more citizen involvement, and more citizen cross-examination as we begin to roll out. 15 seconds. Sam Brannon here to protect neighbors, neighborhoods, culture, and environment. I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jacob Montoya. I have served on your city council before in 2001 to 2004, served as mayor pro tem in 2003 and 2004. So I have experience on your council. I was born and raised here. I'm the only candidate who was born in San Marcos. I chose to stay here. Regardless of the outcome of the race, I will continue to live here, and I will continue to work and fight for this city, whether I win mayor's race or not. I am for the neighborhoods. I have fought for the neighborhoods, and my voting record speaks for itself. I am not a fly-by-night advocate or politician by trade. I have not come to fight one race. I have chosen to make this my home because it is a wonderful place to live. I ask for your support and your vote on November 8th, and even sooner if you're voting in the early election or by mail.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for hosting this debate. Thank you, everybody, for coming to listen to us. My name is Sharif Assis. I have lived in San Marcos for 18 years now. I came as a college sophomore to Texas State University, and I graduated with an undergrad in management and a master's in business in 2010. The main issues that that actually got me involved was the roundabouts. They don't work, they shouldn't be in this type of town. The back-end parking, the people don't like it, and it does slow down traffic, and I've seen it firsthand. And also developments right next to neighborhoods. So those are the things that I'm against. The things that I am for are better development to come to San Marcos, more neighborhoods, better jobs, and protect our river. Thank you.
My name is Ruben Becerra. Pretty good, very close on the pronunciation. Really, really close. Very well done. I've been married for almost 25 years. I raised my children here in this community. My job is preserver of all things historical in our community. I own the oldest restaurant in town, Gil's Broiler. I own the oldest bakery in town, the Vansky Road Bakery. That's why my application says baker, because I am hands-on. And we were lucky. Dan actually just passed away a couple of months ago, but we managed to save his legacy, and we now have the Dixie Cream Donut Shop, oldest donut shop in town. Thank you for supporting us as a community. You are a true blessing. I find it a privilege and an honor to stand here and seek for your support and your endorsement. It is a very big deal to me. I have tons of experience in community and giving to community. Daily, I'm asked to give, and daily I do it. 15 seconds, like what I heard. I've done a lot of good things in my community, and I'm happy to say I'm happy to keep going and change gears into a new capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to speak with you here this evening, and if you're watching at home, thank you for tuning in. My name is John Tomides, and I currently serve as your Mayor Pro Tem. The issues matter, and that's exactly what I've been talking about throughout this entire campaign. Issues like managing the explosive growth in our community, continuing to improve our quality of life, expanding economic prosperity across our entire city, and guiding the ongoing flood recovery. These are my top priorities, and we've created a fantastic website. It's votejohnt.com, and you can see in-depth, all of my positions in-depth on all of these issues. As your next mayor, I will be a consensus builder as well as a strong leader on tough issues. I will bring our council together and our community together. And I will work to create compromise out of disagreement. My name is John Tomides. I'm ready on day one, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We shall start with the questions that were formed by the league members. The first question will go to Sam Brannon, and it is, what activities will you pursue to increase communication between City Council and the citizens of San Marcos?
I love that question because that's what this is all about, greater citizen involvement. I think the first and best thing we can do, right now we go with the 72-hour agenda notice. That's the state minimum. And what we need to do is expand that out. 72 hours is getting the agenda out on Friday, and then Tuesday, council and citizens are supposed to expect to show up knowledgeable on the issue and have good conversations. That's just not nearly enough time. So what I'd like to have is a 2-week, maybe 10-day minimum opportunity to review the agenda and to study it, call our city council members, talk to our neighbors, start to understand the issues at a different and deeper level than we do right now. So I think the more that we include the citizens in that process, the more time we give them, the more time we give our council members, the more insightful discussion we can have. And again, it's getting through, we've got gaps in understanding at the end of these issues that are this wide because we haven't paid them enough attention. I think if we do it right, we can get many points of understanding and work around the gaps. Thank you.
Mr. Montoya, the same question.
There are many ways that we could look at possibly improving the details between council and the citizens of the city. Unfortunately, you have to realize that the city is just like you at home. There's so many issues that are involved every single day that, or every single week and every single month, that unfortunately you can't put off many times putting off things on the agenda, which is why we have that 72-hour period, because it does allow folks to at least look at the issue. Council can bring it up, and then council has the option to always either, especially if there's folks who have questions and want it to slow down, to say, hey, you know what, let's take time. This is an issue that needs to be held up a little bit. Let's bring it back to council. Just because it's on the agenda doesn't mean that you have to move forward on an issue. So that's where the big controversy happens. And I do believe that maybe sometimes tabling certain issues that are hot topics for the citizens of the community will be important.
Please repeat the question.
The question is, what activities will you pursue to increase communication between City Council and the citizens of San Marcos?
Well, take advantage of the means that are already there. Every person here can, at any point, contact the mayor, contact your city councilman, email, go down to City Hall, make your voices heard. The main thing is that once you make your voices heard, we have to listen to you. We have to do what you want us to do, because that's what you're elected us for. When most of the community doesn't want HEB to go and run the world and Hunter Road, and he gets voted through anyway because of the council, I'm sorry, that's not leadership and that's not listening to your citizens. So you elect us to do the job for you, but we also have to listen to you. Thank you.
The things that need to be done for a better engagement is for our citizenry to feel heard. The things that hurt us most is this chronic divisiveness that we have taking place in our community today. It's a violent left, it's a violent right, and we can't just communicate effectively. And to echo Sharif's message, the reason 3 council members walk out of our current council meeting is because they, like the community, felt unheard. regardless of subject matter, regardless of consensus, regardless of what's taking place. When you don't feel heard, you fight for a new direction because the other one is being neglected, it's being broken down, and you're not getting the opportunity to shift policy for the greater people.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've actually done so far. We actually post our meetings a week in advance prior to the actual council meeting. And then that Friday prior to the council meeting, we hold an on-air live stream and on television package. We go through each individual agenda item for every agenda that we do prior to actually holding the full council meeting the following Tuesday. So we do post a week in advance now. Our website is continuously, we attempt to update it, we continuously try to rework it so that it's more friendly to the community and to the citizens. We've expanded our land use changes and our preferred scenario amendments now require 6 months and 8 public hearings to accomplish. So we've added that length to the amount of time required to make significant changes in our land development code. So these are some of the ways we've reached out for communication efforts.
Mr. Brandon, 30 seconds for both.
I've gotten some feedback about, similar to Ms. Montoya's comment, that there's a lot going on, we need to move this stuff through from some city council members and other people. And I don't think we necessarily have to slow it all down that much. It does require discipline on the part of the staff to prepare and be ready to go 10 days in advance or 2 weeks in advance. And it's really just about working together and providing the transparency. And I think that's the reason we have this gap and so many different sides, because there's just not enough transparency. We need better transparency and accountability. Thank you.
Second question goes to Mr. Montoya. The question is, according to an article in the San Marcos Daily Record, the rental market in San Marcos is as tight as it's ever been. What is your solution to providing a range of housing for new residents?
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm not sure that I have a solution to bringing in new housing for residents here in San Marcos. Obviously, we are projected to be the new metropolis, or the newest and largest metropolis in the country, not just in the state of Texas, and that's between the San Antonio and Austin corridors. We are one of the fastest growing cities in America. We have a university that is expected to go from close to 40,000 students to 45,000 students in the next 2 years alone. So there is so much in the aspect of housing, making it very difficult, as been stated before, as students continue to take over those single-family homes in the neighborhoods. What I'd like to do is just continue to bring code enforcement, maybe through training, to make sure that those who are violating the code will be respected, so that we have those single-family homes for residents who want to come to live in San Marcos.
Please.
Thank you. So Jacob did touch up on it a little bit. About a week ago, a Forbes magazine article came through that said the Austin San Antonio region is going to be one of the biggest metropolises in the U.S., and it did specifically mention San Marcos also. So we are expected to have about 100,000 people in the next 5 years move between San Antonio and Austin, and we're right smack in the middle. So what the question's talking about is, with such a tight housing market, the price for rentals are going sky high, and we're getting more and more students. So what we need to do is diversify the options that we have for investors coming to San Marcos. Right now, there's only 2, maybe 3 investors building homes in San Marcos, and they're not building them fast enough for people to be able to afford them. So that's what we need to do, is make sure that we're such a great destination that more developers want to come in and invest in San Marcos and invest in housing for us. Thank you.
So my take on this question is, one, to say we need to change the culture of the way we do business in our community. because I keep going back to this message of us versus them, students taking over our housing. If we just simply build more houses, I'm a business person, supply and demand, fundamentals of math. If you simply build more houses, you will diminish the cost of the average house. And if you create more settings for people to have more variety of choices, then automatically people will benefit from it. And so the idea is, if we work together with Texas State, if we work together with the school district because of their building of schools, if we work together with the county and work together as a city, if the four of us finally, once and for all, unite effectively more than ever before, then we have a better chance of tackling this together, because this idea of no houses is a can being kicked down the street over and over, and it must stop. The merry-go-round must end. And if you guys vote for me, I'm a doer and I'm not just a sayer. Nice stories go well in the books, but this is an action-oriented question.
Well, we've actually approved almost 9,000 new single-family homes in the last 3 or 4 years, so that's the first thing. I will say about apartment complexes, we've kind of done those to death, right? I mean, they're everywhere, and I'm not sure we have to provide the range of more, so much of apartment living, but we've got the single-family housing component, we've got a great stock of apartment, a large stock of apartment housing, and what's missing is affordable housing. And I think one of the things, I helped write the affordable housing policy here in the city with my colleagues. One of the things we haven't really accomplished was, how do we create affordable housing that's the middle income, that missing middle? And so I'd like to take the necessary steps. I know what they are. We have to determine exactly what our need is, and then we have to decide which affordable housing type and where and how much of it that we are going to subsidize. Because all affordable housing is subsidized by somebody. So that's how you get a broad range of housing options in your community.
Yeah, this question confused me a little bit because I'm kind of a market guy, and if there's a shortage of housing, then my question is, what are the barriers to housing being done? And I don't have a great answer for that, but I think that's where we need to focus our attention, is what are the barriers that have prevented housing from going in, and why is it so tight? When we talk about affordable housing, I think the best thing we can do is stop overtaxing the people that live here today. When we talk about subsidized affordable housing, who are we going to ask for that money? This is a poor town. It's been talked about all night, about how low the incomes are here. And we're going to go hit up people that live here for more affordable housing that I guess they're going to live in. I don't understand. So I think we need to back off a little bit and start looking at the underlying issues that are causing these problems before we start pronouncing that we've got solutions to them. Thanks.
Mr. Montoya, 30 seconds rebuttal.
There are many issues that are going to continue to lie with the housing and the necessary housing that is made affordable here within our community. Obviously, we can't continue to pay higher taxes, even if it is just by the valuation of our homes and property. So I want to make sure that that is looked at. When almost or nearly 50% of our taxable base is not, revenue is not guaranteed to the city of San Marcos, that means the other 50 or 55% has to pay for it.
Third question, we'll start with Mr. Cassis. And the question is, what about the character of San Marcos do you believe is most important to preserve? And how will you go about pursuing that goal?
Thank you for the question. There's actually two. One is the historic aspect of San Marcos, which makes us a great destination for tourism, and also the river, which also makes us a great destination for tourism. So both of those are the things that we have to preserve as best we can. So we cannot allow a apartment building in a historic neighborhood like the Lindsay project was going to be. We cannot allow for people to just use the river and not basically keep it clean and things like that. So those are the two biggest aspects: is historic district and also our river.
So the things I want to do for our community are continue to hold on dearly to our sense of place. The most important thing to me is when you come down and take exit anywhere from 199 to 210, that you come into this area and you find community pride. You say, I am from SMTX. And so my idea is, although I love all these things, of course, I live in Spring Lake Hill. I live in an old neighborhood. That was my choice. Of course, we go to the park and the river, and we enjoy these natural resources. So my answer is preservation and not become Anytown USA. Preserve those things we love, hold them dear, and as new development comes in, work together with it. And that's in very much alignment with everything I've ever done here, and that's my spirit of sense of place and community.
Well, when we talk about, I'll take the second part first, what's the most important thing to preserve? That's simple. It's the San Marcos River. It's the heart and soul of our community, and we need to make sure that we have a clean, healthy river that flows freely. And I also want to say, as far as the character of our city, this is the biggest challenge that we face. San Marcos is a very desirable place to live. And we've had tens of thousands of new people move in just in the last 4 or 5 years. So our biggest challenge is how do we maintain that small town feel? How do we maintain the charm and the character that we all love so much about San Marcos that brought all of us here to the community in the first place, amidst all of the growth that's moving here, as well as the university enrollment growth. I believe that I'm very well capable of helping to manage that explosive growth. I will only support growth that improves the lives of our citizens, does not harm our river, our neighborhoods, or our environment. Thank you.
Character and the preservation of it. I think the character of this town comes down to the individuals that live here and the small businesses that have long operated here. And what I see, I've probably knocked more doors in this town in the last 5 years than anybody, based on the number of different initiatives. I talk to people on the doorstep a great deal. There are so many people in this town that have either left or on their way out because they cannot afford to live here anymore. So we continue to come up with these grand ideas, back-end parking, downtown two-way streets, that nobody is down at city council asking for, demanding, that are not going to improve our lives. And yet, in the meantime, while we're doing that, we're taxing people more and more, 5 years in a row of tax increases. That increases rents. And people are having to leave this town. So when I hear about preserving the character, I'm talking about the people in the small business, when we're talking about people, that's our churches as well. And if we're running them out of town, we're losing all of that.
How to protect the character of San Marcos. There's so much, or how to preserve that character. There's so much in that question. Because I was here in San Marcos, unfortunately, like the rest of the folks up here, I didn't come here, I wasn't brought here, I wasn't attracted here, I was made here. But I chose to stay here because I love this community. I love the characters. I've been here since there was under 10,000 citizens in this community, and now it's grown into a wonderful place. And I want to ensure that that growth is managed correctly. And I want to make sure that we continue to preserve those old neighborhoods. Our Hispanic Cultural Center, not just for one people, but para toda la gente aquí de la ciudad de San Marcos. I want to protect everyone here and make sure that the character of the river, our private parkland, and our neighborhoods continue to show in pride and community to always keep San Marcos strong.
Mr. Reese, 30 seconds to rebuttal.
No rebuttal.
Ms. Sarah, you'll be the beginning one here. As mayor, you will be the face of San Marcos. What qualities do you hope to project?
The coolest part about that is that I'm already projecting great qualities of our community as the president of the Centro Cultural, as the president of the Downtown Association, as the Hispanic Policy Network Advisory Board member on campus, as I can keep going. I am chronically involved and I'm chronically projecting the face of our community, and I'm happy that I represent a great broad range of interests in our community, specifically as a founding member of the Mermaid Society. I'm chronically involved in projecting good things and variety and diversity, and so I think that's a good piece, and that's what I'll do.
It's an interesting question. I think that obviously the mayor has to be a good communicator of the actions of the city, not just to the citizens, but to the outside world as well. One of the things that I want to really delve into is making sure that as mayor, I act at a regional level as well to help solve the problems and the challenges that we all face together. Water. So right now I serve on the HCP way, which is providing our plan to provide the additional 50 years worth of water. We're partners with Kyle and Buda and San Marcos. I'm also working on a group, a regional mayors group with Mayor Adler and Mayor Taylor of San Antonio and the mayors in between. I've been invited to participate. I think it's a fantastic option. But this is the only way that we're going to make big changes beyond the borders of San Marcos that are still going to affect us all, like passenger rail service in between the two cities. We're quickly becoming a mega region, and we need to start planning for that growth that is coming our way.
Yes, I will. Just go on.
I'll be the face of San Marcos.
As mayor, you will be the face of San Marcos if elected. What qualities do you hope to project?
Yeah, really the same things I have been projecting since I've been here. I'm here for the people first, and what I want people to know as they watch me as mayor, that I'm going to have your back at all times. We've had private property trying to be stolen from families here by the city government, and that's going to stop. We've had legal abuses in other ways by the city government. We're going to make that stop. We're going to do it by shining light on it and talking about it in city council. So one thing that the people of San Marcos will always know, they have an advocate as mayor, and who's setting the agenda to make sure that whatever we do, whatever direction we decide to take, we're not going to do any harm to the people that live here. We're not going to do any harm to the neighborhoods. We're not going to do any harm to the culture, the character of the community. We're not going to do any harm to this environment. Growth is going to come, but it's not the city council's job to go out and promote that growth and to make it happen. It's the city council's job to protect the people while that growth is going on, and that's what I'm going to do.
Become the face of San Marcos. Wow, I never thought I'd be so famous. But you know, I want to project an image that is not only fun, because we are a great community to come and be a part of, but I want to project a professional and experienced voice for the people of San Marcos. I want people, when they see San Marcos and hear San Marcos, whether it be on television, the newspaper, on the internet, to know that San Marcos is led by a great group of people in a direction where people want to go and say, hey, I want to live in that town. Not just any town USA, but small town USA. I want to make sure that the city of San Marcos is projected as an awesome and wonderful place to live and retire.